Hello, all. So we have with us today Ma'am Shalini Nambiar, a very prominent name in the field of education, who has more than 26 years of experience and has been associated with many renowned names like Vipcure Group, GD Goenka, the Heritage School, Excelsior American, and the James Education. Her unconventional vision and wisdom find roots in her attempt to break stereotypes that education is pinned down with. She has recently founded her own company as an educational consultants in December 2019, wherein she aims to provide high-end trainings in leadership development and behavioral skill abilities for organizations, educational institutes, and individuals, and has conducted training sessions in Sri Lanka, Mauritius, London, and Dubai. So, welcoming you, ma'am, to this session with opinions and you. And I was, myself personally looking forward to this session because today we are going to talk about online schooling, which has come as something very new in this new normal, but it has come to just everybody. So I would like to know, with your experience and your expertise in this field, I would like to know from you, is there a difference in online schooling and real schooling from an educator's perspective?
Thanks, Ekta, for a very warm welcome, and it's lovely to be here. And by the way, I love the name of your company. It is really something very catchy, and
Thank
it
you.
speaks volumes if one has to go deeper into it. So, all the best for that, and congratulations.
Thank you so
When
much.
you talk about online learning and face-to-face learning, the difference, of course, there is a difference. The different, and the sad part is that at the moment, we are into online learning while the teachers are teaching the same way they were taking a class in the face to face. And that is why we are facing so many challenges. Because online learning is where the teaching pedagogy has to be different. It cannot be the same way we are teaching in a face to face class where you can pat a child, you can touch a child, the physical connect is missing. The where we are able to guide children, is missing. Children are much smarter, much forward in technology. So I
Yes.
think there's a marked difference
Hmm.
between face to face and online. And the sooner we realize and understand
Hmm.
that how they are different, because the teaching pedagogy which you are using in a face to face class is very different than the one which you will use while taking an online class. So I think that is the crux of the difference. The physical connect is the difference, those 5 minutes, because when I'm online, I am just all eyes are on me, so I need to be very aware. I need to be very well planned.
Hmm.
I cannot say, okay, I'll go for a class and I'll just do what I know.
Yes.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Every minute needs to be planned extremely well. So there's a
Hmm.
marked difference, between these two ways, what we call the way of teaching in these two segments, I would say. Yeah.
Absolutely agree to you on that. Now, when we started with this system, and I would say thankfully, yes, without wasting any time, as soon as this pandemic hit us, we just went ahead with
Yeah.
this. But few children were able to adapt to the online system quickly, whereas few struggled, whether they were, the smaller ones or elder ones or teenagers. So, what do you think is the way for an educator? Although I would say at the moment, because of this entire setup, they do have their own constraints.
Yeah, yeah. See, I think Ekta, what is important is when we introduce something, first and foremost, I must say, we have been talking about incorporating 21st century skills, I think, from the last 10, 15 years. I've attended so many webinars, but were we really doing it? No, we weren't. And that is the reason there was a challenge.
Mhm.
Digital, we spoke about integration of technology in the classroom. I
Okay.
would say 75% of the schools were not doing it. So the children were taken, Teachers were taken, like by surprise when this happened, that everything has to be digital. And children did find it a challenge because we just jumped into taking the classes. Again, the mindset is finish the curriculum. We forgot about that. Let's spend at least 10 days trying and explaining to the child how we'll work, what is the way. We are in a hurry. We keep talking about holistic development, but I think most of the teachers are in a hurry to finish the curriculum. It's like a big burden and a big baggage they are carrying, so they forget. And this is, I would say, Ekta, this is a golden opportunity which COVID has given us, because all those skills now you can incorporate in an online class, which you are unable to do it in a face-to-face. Personalized learning, how do I give individualized attention? How do I practice differentiation? It is so easy in an online class. The only thing we need is to provide that support, the training to the teachers, that how do I do it? I always say, I call these kids the Netflix generations. It's the first 30 seconds which makes a difference. How do are the children engaged? Or the focus is more on teaching rather than that. The focus should be, are the children learning? So the minute we change our mindset to that, I think there'll be a change. Children will feel more engaged. Children will be learning. There is a loss of learning. Of course, it is a challenge, but then we need to work on it, rather than going in that doldrum, whether the schools will open, not open, forget about it. What we have, let's try and strengthen that, because we don't know, it's so uncertain. We don't know when the schools will open, what will happen. So are we looking at strengthening our skills? That is very important.
Absolutely agree to it. And as you said, this is the time to, we just don't know when this is going to end, or when we will be back to the real system of schooling. But this is the time to focus on engaging the kids as much as possible. Now, also for the first time, the parents found the school to be there in their houses. And for many, I would say this was an overwhelming experience. And at times, some kind of interference was also seen from the parent side, because they were just around the kids. So what is your advice to parents in such a scenario?
See, I think parents need to understand the challenge in our Indian society is we don't trust. We don't trust the teachers. We don't trust the school. We don't trust our child. So if the child is sitting online, I've had experience where you're interacting with parents and they say, oh, my child must be playing a game. Let it be. It's all right. There is always, we are not just learning in a school. We are learning every minute. We are learning from our environment. We are learning from our surroundings. So what the parents need to do is to create a place of learning for the child. If it is a little child, if your child is 3 years, 4 years, it's all right. He cannot sit. It is not possible for a child to sit. So even if he's walking around in the room, it's all right. He's still absorbing. He's hearing. We talk about the hearing skills. I don't understand when teachers insist, no, the child must look at me. No, it's all right. This is an online world. As long as you're saying something engaging, the child will be engaged. He may be jumping, he may be running. It's all right. Now, what is very important for parents to understand, to tell their child, listen, sweetheart, I trust you. I know. It's all right. He might fail. He might not be able to do something, but do not become a teacher. I wrote a beautiful thing. Don't turn your home into a school. And that's what happened. So the child is very, like, I'm talking to you. Let's presume this is an online class and my mom is sitting next to me and she's giving me comments. I'm confused whether to listen to you or to listen to her. So you need to trust your child. Trust the teacher. What they started doing is judging the teacher, which was absolutely wrong. A math teacher, why is she supposed to be fluent in English? It's all right. She's supposed to teach the concepts. So don't become a teacher, because you should be focusing on the life skills of the child. You should be focusing on teaching your child values and maybe question him, okay, if you're having a problem, why you have a problem. But what they started doing in the initial months when this started was started to jump at the school and the teachers. You must understand, even teachers are not used to this kind of a world. Teachers
Of
are not
course.
used to a camera.
Yes. Yes.
So I think what is really needed, we talk about parental engagement.
Hmm.
Parents need to trust the child. Parents
Hmm.
need to trust the school. Let
Hmm.
him do his work on his own, because
Hmm.
you can help him all the time. For how long?
Hmm.
Once he's in grade 10, is he going to listen to you? You want him to become independent or
Hmm.
dependent. So there's a very beautiful, it's proven by science, the art of dispersal. We all
Oh.
know when the seeds are dispersed, the
Hmm.
farthest the seed falls, they
Hmm.
grow the healthier, because they get the sun, they get the
Yes.
air. The
Hmm.
seeds which fall under a mother tree don't grow. And that's what we were doing to our children, 70% parents, suffocating them, you know.
Yes.
So what happened? Children they're getting instructions on the screen, off the screen. So naturally, they'll playing games, the senior kids, they were putting the camera off. It's all right.
Yeah.
Just leave your child, and
Hmm.
he will do better than you. Trust him, because every person needs to find his own path. You are there to guide him.
Hmm.
Don't start directing him. So I think that was a big challenge, and parents need to understand that. You know.
Completely agree to you on that. And I think that comes as a very sane advice to many parents,
Yeah.
including me. Yes. So also, this online system although came as a boon, but um, due to the constraint in moving around, children lack the company of being, children lack this opportunity of being in company with their peers, especially I would say a little elder ones,
Yeah.
and that connection, the learning that comes from the peers and everything, that was very much missing and was felt also. So what do
Yeah.
you suggest, as in somebody who, yeah.
They say, do, if you're in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? And if this is the situation and there's no way out, then we have to find a way out. We have to be creative.
Hmm.
Like let me give you an example. So most of the schools are holding classes from the way they were holding in a face-to-face class, like 8 to 2.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, why can't you just change the schedule? It's online. Let the math class happen at 6 o'clock in the evening. Let the PE class happen at 5:30 in the morning. Create that excitement, because
Hmm.
children are missing the social connect. We all are social animals. Now,
Yes.
to bridge that gap, you have to focus on the mental health of a child.
Hmm.
Build, when you're taking a class, give them those 5 minutes of interacting with each other. Allow, move your teaching methodology more, which is focused on collaboration. Children can probably virtually connect and work on a project
Hmm.
where they do not feel, they don't miss out, because of course they're missing out a lot of learning which takes place when we travel by the school bus, when we play on the playground.
Hmm.
No, those things are not there. So instead of crying and instead of saying, oh my God, what do I do? We have to find a solution. We have to be creative. We have to find ways and means where we can allow the child to interact as a school. So how do you do with that? Give them projects and tell them to collaborate with each other. Hold
Yeah.
exciting classes. Have sometimes a coffee evening with the students. Let them feel good.
Hmm.
Maybe let's have a meal together. Because you're not only having a meal together, you're teaching them the skills of how to eat. What is the process? Because our focus is so much on academics that we forget to teach that those skills are very important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we forget to ask the child, what does he want? We like giving them what we want to give. We think, no, this is what has to be given. Try asking a child.
Hmm.
Try doing something different. Now the Olympics are going on. You're having a virtual class. Let's watch one of the things together and let's discuss. What is discussion? It is a very important part of an English class. In English, there are 4 skills, reading, writing, listening, speaking. We only teach reading and writing. Listening and speaking, we don't teach. And then we say, oh, children have come out of English medium school. They can't communicate in English because they do not know how to use the word. How many teachers are using a dictionary in school? How many teachers are using a map? I'm not talking about the 10% of the progressive schools Ekta, I'm talking about the large majority of the
Yes,
school.
sure.
So we don't allow them that creativity. For that, we need to be creative. It's so much fun because children are missing the social connect. So create opportunities where they can virtually connect and feel good. Okay, let's have a party tomorrow, let's all bring something, change the school timings, as I said. That is something very important. I don't know why schools are not doing that, because that will lead to a change, in their lives, because everybody's fed up of just being in the home.
Yes.
So how do you create that environment? It's entirely up to you. And again, a second very important thing, a virtual class can never be where I introduce a chapter. It's all about understanding the flipped classroom concept. Let the children know what you're going to do, and then they create engaging activities, where you can work with the children. Let them jump, let them dance. It's all right. They do that in a face-to-face class. Now, those activities you're not ready to do in an online class, because you feel if the child moves away from the camera, oh my God, he's not listening. Yes, 10% might not listen, but then you have to, instead of blaming the child, we have to reflect. Where are we going wrong? Are we making our classes engaging? So I think that it's a deeper understanding of our own style and being creative during these times.
Yes. So as you said, the creativity and the fun thing has to be there in the online classrooms as well, to make it interesting and not boring for the students and to hold them. Yes. But at the same time, there is a lot of noise about the screen time being increased for little kids, as well as I think it's increased for everybody now, but yes, for kids also, there's no escape now. So what to do? I mean, the schools are running online, as well as assignments, everything, as well as they need to do some cartoon watching and everything also.
Yeah. See, the only way out is, yes, screen time has increased. There's no denial, and there's no way out, because this is the only way we can take classes. But as I said, maybe we can reduce the time. Maybe instead of having a 45-minute period, have a 30-minute period. Even those 10 minutes in each class can make a lot of difference. Give them work which is not related to be on the screen. Give them some creative work, because this is the world of online classes. Let them collect something, do something with their hands, because they're missing that coming to the school. So the teacher needs to be really creative, and you don't have to do everything online, So give them the tasks which you're assigning which are not related to screen time. Where, I understand with the senior classes, it will be difficult because they have to study, they have the worksheets and all that. But at least with the younger kids, we can utilize, don't give them homework as a worksheet. I mean, which is I would say, a most redundant style of education. I tell you, worksheets are not existent in the topmost countries of the world now. Because it needs to be more creative. Let them do something, like you're teaching them math. Okay, tell them, okay, go and count all the doors and windows. You're teaching them angles. Okay, measure the windows in your house, measure the height of your, family members. Give them something. So the teacher needs to be very creative, that how do I take this concept? How do I make it engaging, where we are mindful of the fact that there is less screen time? Are we telling the kids to meditate? Why don't we do that? We talk about yoga class. I mean, come on, yoga is not a class. Yoga is life. So why don't we let children, okay, when you get up in the morning, do meditation for 10 minutes, teach them those eye exercise. We're not doing that. For that, we need to do research. That palming, where you close your eyes like this for 10 minutes, you're watching the screen. It gives so much of relief. Now, that is a way of functioning, because it is screen time. So give them that breaks. Don't have one period after another. Give them that, like I'm doing consultancy for a Finnish school now. How they plan their periods. It's very interesting. It's 90 in a face-to-face class. They have a 90-minute block period, and 30-minute. It's called brain break period. Where children are just allowed to reflect, think, do whatever. Not like a food break. It is like a brain break. It is called. So we can do that. You take a class for 30 minutes, give them 30 minutes brain break period, and then come back and take so that the screen time, See, the problem which is happening with continuously looking at the screen is dehydration. A lot of mental depression is coming in.
Yeah.
So we are not mindful of that. Forget about the curriculum.
Okay.
It's not important. We need to think of creative ways of teaching the kids so that we reduce whatever time we can, their screen time.
Okay, I think so wonderful to hear from you all these experience nuggets, I would say. Just the last bit I would like to touch upon is that, we have a very large population of working parents, maybe from working from home or from offices, and they are finding this new online classes even more appalling, I would say. So what do you say? How do they handle it?
Again, Ekta, it's again, I don't trust my child. I'm working. I'm sure he's not going to do it. You have to have when we talk about quality time is where I spend maybe half an hour with the child or 1 hour exclusively with the child. It's not about leaving your job and sitting at home. It will not make him an Einstein. Let me tell you, I've been a working mom and I think I'm very proud of what my kids are doing. I believe in giving them quality time. Read with your child. Stop asking them what happened today in the online class. The children are bored. So you talk about something different, teach them values, and trust your child. Leave every day if you're working. Tell them that I trust you. I know you will take care of your class. He may miss 1 or 2 classes. Coming back and instead of scolding the child, try and talk to him. That why did you miss? What happened? What is the reason? Show him that it's all right to do these things. The most important skill is being honest, accepting that I did not do it because of this reason. Children understand logical reasoning, and parents need to reason it out. If I want my child to change a certain habit, if I tell him you can't do it, he will do it more. Let me give you with full confidence. Even I, as an adult, if somebody tells me you can't do this, I will do it more. Because it's like a rebel attitude. But if somebody tells me, listen, you were not able to do this, what do you think are the reasons? I will then think. I have the child thinking. Even a 3-year-old knows. If you ask them that, okay, why you didn't like the class today? I didn't like it because this. Okay, let's try and work on it. Let's try and improve. Do you think tomorrow you will be able to pay more attention, maybe sit for 10 minutes more class? Build that bond with your child, which is very important. We say, we try and, give them too much advice. Don't advise them, guide them. Advisors will go out of the window from one year and go out from the other year. Nobody wants advice. I want to be guided. Okay, if you don't like it, this is the way you can do it. So I think that is the way parents should focus on creating that bond with their children. Very important. Yes. And don't give up your jobs. Don't feel guilty because it is, the children must understand that why we need to work. And it's all right. Yes. It's perfectly fine. Yeah.
So I think that's some wonderful words from you, which are going to help the parents as well as the entire community to a great extent. Because as of now, yes, we are struggling you can say coping with this new system, but at the same time, this is going to be here and has helped the students as well as parents all around. So thank you so much, ma'am, for being there, enlightening us with your really wonderful words. Thank you so much, Shalini.
Thank you, Ekta. Thank you so much.